friends, today I'll be doing a question and answer with my Instagram followers. So I thought now would be the perfect time to do this since I just hit 500 subscribers. I know to a lot of people that is not a lot, but to me any milestone is a big deal, so thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I asked my followers some questions that they had about me. I put the question sticker. So to take part in more videos like this, I'm actually planning another one with my Instagram followers. I really recommend that you hit me up and you follow me on Instagram to be part of future videos. For the first question, Maya and Grace asked, what are my riding goals and my long-term goals? Long-term, I would love nothing more than to do a Grand Prix. What I love about this sport is that it is something that you can do for a long time. Unlike running or swimming, it's not like the older you get, the less capable you are of doing well. With riding, I think it's the opposite. The older you get, the more experience you gain and the better of a rider that you become. So this might take 5 years. This might take decades. It doesn't matter, how long the journey takes to get there. Some other goals that I have that are not that far in the long term is I would love to catch ride somebody's horse or pony. I think being trusted to show somebody else's mount is so special, and it really demonstrates that you're a good rider. Another goal that I have is I want to be able to do more liberty with 11. I've seen a lot of people do it, and I really want to try it myself. Okay, this is a really funny question. Honor asked me, why did I stop calling Lotus Louie? Because his show name is the Lotus HT and his bar name was Louie, so he had two names, and everyone at my barn kind of just used both names. I started actually liking Lotus more. I think it's just a more elegant name, and I kind of like it a little bit better for him. Maya asked me about my goals with the boys. So with 11, I really want to get to the Royal Winter Fair for the meter 20s. And with Lotus, I would love to do the equitation. I would love to make it to the Canadian Jump Canada and the CET finals, which if you don't know what they are, they're like meter 10 and meter 15 hunter and jumper equitation phase finals. Tubora Wings asked me, when did I start riding? Gracie asked me, how long have I been riding and why did I choose the jumpers? So, I started riding when I was 7 years old. And that was back in 2012, so over 8 years ago. And why did I do the jumpers? Ever since I was a little kid, going fast has always been something I'm a big fan of. I used to do figure skating, and instead of enjoying the leaps and turns and things that figure skaters do, I would just always want to race and go fast on the ice. That has just always been something that I've loved doing, going fast. And so jumpers kind of tied in with that. It looked like hunters and X were going to be boring, and that's kind of why I chose jumpers. Tubora Wings also asked, what's the horse who taught me the most? Definitely would have to be 11. He has taught me so much. He has just showed me the ropes of the jumper ring. He's taught me how to jump bigger jumps. He's taught me about dressage and flat work, and he's just been such a phenomenal teacher. Ashley asked, what is the scariest or worst riding accident I've ever had? So I've actually been very fortunate, knock on wood, to not have had a ton of really bad experiences riding. I think my worst one was probably when I broke my arm. And that was back in 2018. It really wasn't a big deal. I was riding the school horse, so you're going over this tiny crossroad. The horse, I guess, that I was riding just, landed and then took a step, and my balance just was not in the right place. And so when she took a step, I kind of just fell off the side of her, off her neck, and I landed on my arm, and then I just broke my arm doing that, which is really funny because I've had definitely a ton of way worse falls and nothing's ever happened, and it was just this little cross rail that got me and broke my arm. So I was out of riding for 2 months. How many times have I fallen off? Okay, I've fallen off one. I don't have the exact count, but I would say it's anywhere between the ballpark of 15 to 17 last time that I counted. Georgia asked, when did I move barns? I moved barns from my eventing barn to the barn that I am at right now in March of 2019, so about a year and a half ago. Mia also asked me what my favorite saddle brand is. If you don't know, I ride in a Bruno Del Grande and I love it so much. It is the comfiest thing ever and it is like my baby. Anjali, you might have seen her with a cute little pony and her horse, asked me what my favorite exercises are to do with the boys. Now I have a couple. So on the flat, I definitely work a lot on extensions and collections in the canter. I work a lot on transitions. So walk to canter, canter to walk. Now if we're talking about jumping, my favorite exercise is probably the circle of death. I don't know if you've seen it. I'll also put a diagram above, but it's just literally a circle with 4 jumps. I just love it so much because you really get to work on using your balance to turn instead of using your reins or your leg. And it's all subtle cues and it's just really about being like one with your horse. Ali asked, what is my favorite thing about riding? First of all, it would have to be definitely the horses. There's something that is just very sophisticated and really unique about forming an amazing relationship with your horse, getting to know their little quirks and what makes them happy and what they don't like and their favorite itchy spot and, you know, just looking into their big warm eyes and just feeling like you guys understand each other. That is probably the most special part about riding. Olivia asked, how many years did I go to Saddlewood? Now, for those of you who are not familiar with Saddlewood, it is a overnight all-girls camp in Kawartha Lakes, Ontario. That was definitely my most popular video on YouTube. It got to, I think, 8,000 views before it got taken down because I was not very smart and I used copyrighted music because I didn't understand that I shouldn't do that. I went there for 3 years. It was an amazing experience and I definitely wish I could go back. I just got super busy with showing and there comes a time when you have to choose between like fun with your best friends or getting serious about showing, and I took that route. Lily asked me, how did I find my horses? With Lotus, my coach found him, and with 11, my coach also found him. I went and tried them and I really liked them and that's how I ended up with them, but I didn't find them myself. Brooke asked, what are some of my favorite Eck brands? Well, for bonnets, my favorite is Talisman bonnets. They really do make the cutest bonnets ever. Actually, no, I will go grab it. I'll be right back. Okay. I'm back. So, I have 3 bonnets from Talisman. They're all so gorgeous. This is their Quiet Years one with the scalloped V front. Very classic. I love it. In my barn colors. This was the very first Talisman bonnet that I ever got, and it is navy with gold and white, and it's so beautiful. And this is probably my favorite bonnet of all. It is the super pretty black tie down. I love it so much. They just have such amazing values. They use people who do not have a lot of disposable income, like seniors. They hire them and they use them to do their work, which is just so awesome. Another favorite brand of mine is Christian Lau Leather Care. I love all his products. He makes saddle oils, regular neat's foot oil, conditioner, and cleaner for your saddles and leather goods. The really cool thing about this line of products is that Christian is an expert on saddles. That's what he does for a living. He makes and repairs and fits saddles. Another favorite product of mine are Stud Muffin Treats. My horses love them. They are just so great. They're a Canadian company and they use quality ingredients. And lastly, I love Ecolicious. I am an Ecolicious hog. I have so many. I have over a dozen other products and I do not plan on stopping my collection anytime soon. They're just so amazing, all natural, Canadian, and I love them. Brooke and Olivia asked, do I own both of my horses? Yes, I do. So 11, I started out as a lease, but I bought him this year, and Lotus has always been mine, and I'm so grateful to have these 2 amazing horses. Lily asked, would I get another horse or sell one of my horses? And Sophia asked, would I get a 3rd horse? So, first of all, would I get another horse? I absolutely would. When I develop and am more skilled as a rider, I really want to get a project horse or pony to bring along just for like a half a year. I think it would be an amazing learning experience. So that is one of my goals that I'm working towards. I also want to be financially independent for this horse. I really don't want to rush this because I want to do it right. And would I ever sell one of my horses? That is just so sad to think about. I'm going to be going to university in like 2 years and I probably won't be able to bring them to university with me or keep on riding both horses. Now Lotus, he's very young. He has a lot of years left with his show career. I mean, so does 11, don't get me wrong, but he's just a lot younger than 11. And so with Lotus, he's also an equitation horse, and obviously I really would not be able to show the equitation once I aged out. We have to be realistic, so I am preparing myself for maybe having to sell him as I go off to university, which was originally our plan. He was going to be an investment horse where, you know, we fine-tune him a little bit, convert him into a fancier eq horse, and then we sell him later on. Elise, Hannah, and Katie asked, why did I choose 11 and Lotus? Starting with 11 since I got him first. When we tried him, I actually did not like him at first. I thought he was too clunky. He wasn't going to be agile enough, which now that I know him is like the complete opposite. He's big, he's strong, but he turns on a dime. So even though I didn't like him at first, my coach was like, Jess, you're gonna like him, take him on trial, and I did. And it was just how honest and forgiving he was when I took him on trial. Now beyond leasing, why did I take the jump from leasing to buying? Since our original plan with my coach was actually I would hold off on buying until I was showing them either 20s. However, plans changed when I realized how special 11 was. He really is the complete package. On the ground, he's a total puppy dog. He has amazing flat work. He could probably be a dressage horse if he wanted to. He is the most honest, brave, forgiving, non-squeaky horse I've ever had the pleasure of riding. He has a passion for winning, so he definitely can go fast when you ask him to. He was too special for us to just end our lease and go to find another horse on, because it's just so hard to find a horse like 11. He really, truly is one in a million. Now with Lotus, we chose him over the other horses that we tried because of his age. So he was only 8 at the time, which was a really good age. He was young, but not too young, and had a lot of, life left in his legs and had a lot of career left ahead of him, which was amazing. Another thing we liked about him was that he had a very nice gait for the eck. He was a nice mover, and he was willing, he was sweet, so that's why we chose him. Brooklyn asked, what is my highest jump? So with both the boys, 130 is my highest jump. For our very last question, Katie asked, if I could only do one discipline, would I choose eck, hunters, or jumpers? Well, I would have to choose the jumpers. I love the eck, I love the hunters, but there's just something about the jumpers that really speaks to me a lot more. My favorite feeling is probably when you have just gone super duper fast in the jump off, you've made all the inside turns, you've left out all the strides. I think that is just so fun, and you get all that adrenaline pumping. And then at the end, when you look at the scoreboard and beside your name is the number 1, everybody's cheering for you, I think you can't find that atmosphere anywhere else. So jumpers by far. Okay, that was the end of my Q&A. I really hope you enjoyed. And as a little side note, I'm definitely really loving this whole YouTube thing, and I'm going to be trying to post more often, definitely once a week, but maybe even twice a week depending on what types of videos that I'm filming. So stay tuned for a video coming out pretty soon. Thank you so much for watching. As always, if you liked it, leave a comment, hit that like button, turn on the post notifications, and subscribe.